Hey folks, my guest today is Prabhat Sahu. He's crunching data and chasing targets since 2016. His vocation in the last half of the decade has been driven by statistics, structures, and stories. From founding an e-commerce company in 2016 to working for the government with a special focus on the agriculture department, assisting farmers to move beyond the middleman lobby. He then founded Sawo, that's SAWO labs.com in 2020 to be the one-stop solution for all your authentication needs. Prabhat, are you ready to take us to the top?
Sure, yeah, sure. Nathan,
All right.
excited to be with you.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here. So tell us, who's paying for the software and how do you structure it? How do they use you?
Sure. I realized around 2020, August 28th is when I realized that we should go ahead and solve the aspects of having passwords or one-time codes to log on to applications. And, the idea was to smoothen the overall journey. We ended up building a plugin SDK, which could plug on to any mobile or web application and eventually let users come on board. So essentially right now we have 41 odd enterprise customers who pay for the application, and it's been around for a while now. Yep.
Can you name some of those customers just so we get an idea of who's paying you?
The customers are very geographical here. So we have around the top three cryptocurrencies out of the top five in India. Our cryptocurrency exchanges out of top five in India are a part of the Savos community. Apart from that, we have approximately 36 really large e-commerce clients who basically operate out of India geographically, and we are doing a lot of business with one of India's largest banks as well.
Okay, got it. So they're all using you to authenticate users when they sign up, whether it's for a cryptocurrency
Yes.
exchange, a bank, or an e-commerce platform.
Yes. So
I see.
we do
And
56 million authentications.
what do they pay you per month on average?
An average, so essentially we do 56 million authentications a month, and we charge $0.0006 per authentication on an
Prabhat,
average.
say that a little bit slower.
56 million authentications a month is what we do, and $0.0006 is average we charge per authentication. So the ticket size lies anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000
A month or a year?
a year.
A year. Okay, got it. So you've got essentially 41 customers paying you about $1,000 to $2,000 per month. So you're doing about $40,000 to $50,000 a month right now in revenue.
We do approximately upwards of $130,000.
Oh, okay. I did that math wrong. So what are you selling something else besides authentications, or is that all
No,
authentication revenue?
we don't essentially. But the point is, the 41 are just enterprise, right? We have really small ticket size customers as well who pay anywhere from $18 to $100. So
I
that also
see.
comes in.
I see. And if
So
you're
there are
doing
total,
130,
that is a total of 9,000 customers in total, which includes freemium as well.
how many are paying at least $1?
Uh, upwards of 300, around
How many?
320 odd.
320?
Yep.
320. Interesting. Okay, very cool. And if you're at $130,000 a month today in revenue, where were you exactly a year ago?
A year ago, we were not operational in business itself. We started this February to be operational. Monetization started around May.
When did you write your first line of code?
Uh, July last year.
Okay, so 2020 is when you started coding the tool. And help me understand how you've grown this. Did you guys just choose to raise capital or bootstrap?
We have raised capital. We have raised substantial amount of capital, upwards of around $1 million in total.
Okay, I think you did that in a pre-seed round and then a seed round. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was the seed round size?
The pre-seed round was around $34,000 plus an extension of 60,000 more, and then there was a $860,000 seed round.
Okay, and most people in their seed round, they're selling between 10 and 20% of the business. What valuation did you raise that at?
Around 13%.
You sold about 30%?
13, 1
Oh, 1.13. Okay, that's great. And did you feel that valuation was fair? Did you raise from where were the investors from that you raised from?
They're a VC fund. They're a really large venture capital fund based out of India. It's run by the ex co-founders of Infosys.
Okay, good group. So you raised 860,000 bucks at about a $6 million valuation, selling 13%. And are you raising capital today, or are you still using that capital you just raised?
We are almost about to close on a $9 million round. That's going to be our series.
And why do you need the 9 million? Where do you plan to invest that?
Yeah, essentially the whole product was built on product-led growth and community-led growth. So the idea is to spend at least 40% of it on accelerating the product's vision and increasing the speed at which the product operates and the product is growing. And around 30% of it goes into expansion of the community, and the rest into human resource and other expenses.
What does that mean when you say expansion of the community? I mean, how do you grow a bigger community to then turn into more freemium users?
So right now we have an open and closed community in total of 12,000 odd developers. The idea is to
where is it? Where can people go visit the community?
Discord and Slack.
What's the name of the Slack group?
The name of the Slack group is called the Product-Led Jam.
Can you spell that?
The Product-Led Jam.
Oh, the Product-Led Jam.
Yep.
Interesting. And why are people in that Slack group good fits for authentications? I mean, are there banks and e-commerce brands hanging out and cryptocurrency exchanges hanging out in that group?
So essentially, the top of the funnel, the idea was to bring a lot of developers and product managers in a group together, provide them a lot of value, make sure they engage, and then eventually profile them and ensure that the product seeps into their daily habits in itself. So that's something that we did. We did not bring e-commerce brands or banks to the platform to start with. We just brought everybody. We saw who was taking the product, and that's how the brand grew into itself.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, when you raised the $94,000 seed round, what cap was that at, or what valuation?
I diluted approximately 7%.
7?
Yep.
That's fairly low. You did a good job managing dilution in your early rounds. Have you had experience raising capital before?
Yeah, this is my second time raising capital.
Oh, tell me about your first company. What would you work on there?
We were running an e-commerce SaaS brand. The idea was to build scalable SaaS to increase the hyper-local e-commerce market in itself. So I raised approximately $120,000 around 6 years back.
And what happened to that business?
That eventually fizzled off. The market wasn't. We were too early. Yeah.
Okay, so you sort of shut it down.
Yeah, we eventually diluted the overall business, sold the product to one of the clients itself, recovered the principal, and shut it.
That's a great way to recover principal, return it to investors, and then sort of move on to your next thing. Now we blink 12 months later, you're building a great business. You're looking to raise a $9 million round. What valuation are you targeting?
I can't announce it as of now, but yeah, we have already closed on a 65 million valuation. I'm done with the basic paperwork for the round.
So you're based, I mean, the round you're doing now, Series A, 9 million, 65 million valuation, something like that.
Yep.
And talk to me a little bit about how you've built the team. How many folks are full-time today?
Sure. There was a time when I started off coding, we were me and 2 more interns, and then right now we are 53 people in total, 49 being full-time.
How many are engineers?
34.
34. Okay. What's everyone else do?
I have a community team. Then I have a content and a growth team.
How have you? There's a lot of listeners building SaaS companies trying to structure their own communities. How did you structure your community team?
See, the idea is to essentially understand that people who advocate in communities, who build communities, are not popular people. They are more operational and functional. The mistake that SaaS brands make is they tend to hire an influencer, thinking that will drive community growth, but that's not how it works. What I did was I got a really operational, strategic person who had insights into how to handle developers in itself. We ended up we started off with 80 developers around 12 months back, and right now we're at 12,000.
That's amazing.
So,
and so you're getting customers there. Are you spending any money on CAC?
Nope, not at all. I've spent approximately $10,000 into 10,000 rupees in total to build the whole thing. So that would be approximately what $150.
Pretty cheap. You're pretty efficient there. All right. When you raise this 9 million, I mean, are you going to try and do paid ads against anything or paid acquisition, or are you going to keep focused on community?
We will definitely expand into inorganic methods of growth. Of course, there is a cost to organic growth, and that's slow speed, right? So the idea is to spend more on inorganic growth and ensure that we catapult the business in itself.
Yep. Obviously you can catapult the business, but you can't lose customers, right? So churn, expansion are critical. What's your net dollar retention today?
We in our business, in the kind of business that I've built here, in authentication itself, it's a very security heavy business. So churn isn't a problem anymore. The issue is slow growth. Churn isn't an issue. So I've barely had 0.3% churn, and that the churn will never happen, because if somebody adopts a passwordless authentication method, they can't move back to passwords, because that will cause consumer behavioral shift, right? Consumers will face issues. So churn isn't something that we're facing, and that's surprising the business itself.
Very cool, Prabhat. Heck of a story. Let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, favorite business book.
Shoe Dog.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Yep. To be very precise, in India, I have Bhavish Agrawal. And
which company?
In the US, I have Naval Ravikant.
Yep. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Sawo?
Favorite online tool? Slack. I love Slack.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
4.5, 5.
5. Okay. Not a ton, but I guess enough. What's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Single as fuck. Yeah, very single.
Very single. All right, no kids. And how old are you, Prabhat?
I just turned 25.
25?
Yep.
Okay, 25 years old. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20?
The fact that growth isn't fundraising. I didn't know that when I raised my previous round. I didn't know that. Yep.
Guys, Sawo Labs is supporting e-commerce brands, banks, and cryptocurrency exchanges to validate users in a passwordless fashion. They went from nothing to $130,000 a month in revenue over the past 12 months. They've raised to date about $1 million. Their last seed round was $860,000 at a $6.6 million valuation, sold 13%. Now closing on a $9 million round, which is very exciting at an even higher valuation. You'll hear it live in the interview. Prabhat, thank you for taking us to the top.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.